What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Greed coming at y'all another video. And as y'all can see from the title and thumbnail, I will be talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And I'm actually going to be talking about a topic that's been going around for quite a bit. And it's kind of been ever since the Goku versus Raditz gameplay drop. We saw another beam struggle. I feel like we've seen one before too outside of them. But I guess this one hit harder because the characters themselves are like weaker at this point in like their lives and slash story. When Goku and Raditz do a beam struggle, or when anyone does a beam struggle in Sparking Zero, it's like this. When the beam struggle happens, it's like they break like the dimension almost, kind of similar to how Gogeta and Broly broke the dimension when they were clashing in the movie. It's like that, but the beams clash and then the dimension kind of breaks or whatever. It takes you into like this like space world or whatever, and the camera rotates a bunch and then you just see the beam struggle. Now the things I was seeing people complain about the most, and a lot of the complaints I see are from Twitter. If y'all don't know, I am always on Twitter, so y'all go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well. I be tweeting. I try to tweet a lot, and then I even comment on a lot of things. But yeah, like I said, I was seeing a lot of the complaints on Twitter, and I will give people the benefit, you know, they were saying like the game looks near to perfect, but if they were to critique one thing about it, it would be this. And I'm really just making this video to get my opinion on it, because I'm seeing that it's become like a pretty big topic. I know a lot of people are like having real issues with it. Some people are having like real issues with it. Others are just like, hey, it's whatever hype, right? I am more so on the it's whatever hype side, because one, I look at it like this. Y'all, we're already playing a Dragon Ball Z game where Hercule could rival like a crazy like person on the main cast, right? Like you got characters like Hercule that could win the game in general. So I don't know, I kind of just feel like that whole like there's supposed to be a huge difference in like powers and all of that in like certain characters. I think that kind of all goes out the window when you're playing like a video game, like, and you really just want to have fun, to be honest. I get why people are complaining. Like, the complaints do make sense. Like the critiques do make sense. I don't mean to say complain, that's just the first word that's coming to mind, but the critiques do make sense. It's like, yes, should Goku and Raditz be breaking the universe or whatever early, like, you know, early Saiyan Saga versions of them? Should they be doing it? It doesn't make sense. People think that it kind of takes away from the hype and all that, because like you see these two characters that are very early in their story and they're doing like crazy shit like that. In my opinion, I don't think it's all that bad. Like I said, man, honestly, I think it's really cool. I didn't really pick up on it or notice it until somebody else pointed it out, and I'm pretty sure I would have noticed it, but then like been like, it's whatever, I don't really care. But I think a lot of people have an issue with, you know, weaker characters being able to break the world or whatever, and I guess that's what I'm gonna call it. And it's like, bro, like I said, we're already playing a game that don't really make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I guess people are feeling like it takes away from the actual characters that do break universes and all that other shit. Like, it takes away from them because you expect them to do that shit, but then it's like now these lesser characters, or these weaker characters I should say, can do it with ease, and it takes away from the whole hype of it in itself. I personally, like, yeah, I don't think so. I think it's still gonna be fun. Honestly, I think when it does drop, bro, it's not gonna kill anybody. It's not gonna kill anybody's hype. It's not gonna like do anything crazy for people. I think people are still gonna enjoy it the same way they have been enjoying it. I saw one critique that did make a lot of sense that I can agree on, is there is no real progression with the beam clash, and that makes a lot of sense. That's probably one of the most like, that was one of the better takes I've seen about the whole topic. Anything else I don't really agree too much personally, but that one I do agree. Previous Dragon Ball games, you were able to see the struggle with the beam clash. Like if there was a beam clash in that game, like it would show you when they're zooming in on the beam itself, it would show you like one side is winning and then the other side is losing, or you'll either see one side losing hard and then you'll see that that's the side that's losing. It'll catch up like really fucking fast. Like if the other person just gave up, you'll see the beams just like, they were really good at showing you the progression throughout the beam struggle, and I did used to think that was a really cool feature. It's those little small things. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me, but I will agree, it's like I don't think that's something that they should have removed. Now then again, this is footage we're looking at from like an unfinished game, so they could very well just add the progression throughout the beam struggle. Like who knows, you know, the game isn't out yet. But out of all the things and all the critiques I did see about the beam struggle, that is the number one thing I will say I do sort of agree with. Like I would love to see like the struggle in between, because I remember being a kid, bro, and I'm just playing against like, you know, my homies or either like my cousin, and then like I'm looking at the screen while I'm also like, you know, rotating the analog stick, because I'm pretty sure back then it was like you had to rotate the analog stick real fast. I'm over here doing that, and then I'm also looking at like the beam on the screen. I'm seeing it go back and forth between me and whoever I'm fighting. Like it's hype, bro. Seeing that progression during the struggle is definitely hype. I will say that is a very valid reason not to fuck with it. But the other reasons, like I said, they make sense if you looking at them from like a very how can I put it? Like if you really trying to hard critique the game, these are some things you would say. Other than that progression one, that like if you really trying to look for something to say about it, it would be, I seen people complaining about the camera rotation. In my personal opinion, I remember older Dragon Ball Z games having like a crazy amount of rotation during the beam struggle as well. I don't really remember a beam struggle ever just staying in one spot, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Like other than like the early Budokai games, like the very first Budokai games, those beam struggles, if I'm not mistaken, if they did have them, those weren't the camera didn't rotate because it was like a side screen game, like how Burst Limit was, and like I said, the Budokai games were like you were kind of looking at it from the side, so the camera didn't do too much shaking or moving. But in a 3D game where you looking all around the character, you can see all their surroundings and stuff, it definitely makes sense like why the camera would rotate like a fuck ton. I guess I think it makes sense personally. Like I said, it just adds, like, it's just more crazy shit they add into the effect. I don't know, they really just trying to make it look as crazy and as good as possible, and I'm totally all for it. And then I do think they could have kept, and I saw something else saying like, why do they break the dimension instead of just staying in the same arena? Like I've seen a few people comment this, like they would fuck with it if they just stayed in the arena they were in instead of just breaking the dimension or whatever. Honestly, I think like staying in the same arena, that's fine. But they were trying to add like the extra effect to it by having characters break the dimension. Like, oh shit, like we boxing so hard, we breaking the dimension. Like, do you need that? No. But I like it though. I fuck with it. I can't lie, man. Like it's not something like I really dislike, or it's not something like I'm just like, man, this sucks. Like, nah, bro. I like it. I rock with it for real. I can't even bullshit, man. I like it. And with the whole thing about saying the like staying in like the default place or wherever y'all fighting while the beam struggle is going on, I could see why people would have a problem with that. Cause in previous Dragon Ball games, I feel like there was some where they kept you in the same like default place where you were doing the beam struggle, but then I feel like other games also like flooded the screen with so many lights and effects and all that. You can even tell that you were in the same like area, you know what I'm saying? But in this game they show you like, nah, you're breaking the dimension type shit, and I think that's just what a lot of people have an issue with. I definitely think it's one of those things like if we're gonna critique some about the game, I guess this would be that one thing. But I honestly think it could be easily ignored, man. It's a beam struggle. Like in an online match, how many beam struggles are you really pulling off unless you and your homie want to really do it? You know what I'm saying? Like I think about stuff like that. Like, bro, if I'm fighting my homie, I'm just trying to beat him, bro. Like or fighting anybody online, for that matter. I'm just trying to beat them, bro. I'm not really trying to like if the cool shit happened while the fight is happening, then cool. Like there's a lot of cool stuff in video games, like features and whatnot, that how can I put it? There's a lot of cool features and stuff in video games that we don't get to see as much, because when you're in an actual fight, you're just not doing that shit. It's also similar to how people learn combos and like in like other fighting games and stuff. Like you'll learn a combo in a fighting game. It's like, okay, you just learned this super long combo, but what are the chances of you really pulling it off online? I'm not saying you can't, I'm not saying you won't, but like, let's be real, bro. You might just want to go with the simple combo instead of trying to do like this crazy shit that you might not even be able to pull off, one, because of connection, and two, like, you know, just because of other shit in general, bro. Like it's a thing in video games, bro. It happens in every video game, and I feel like the beam struggle is one of those things. The same way with the grab struggle. Like, what are the chances that you and your opponent are both thinking, I'm finna grab right now, and then y'all go through like the whole animation of the struggle happening? Like, it looked cool, but I sit here and think to myself, bro, as I'm playing this game, how many times am I really gonna go through that struggle? Like, go through that grab struggle or that beam struggle, or even like the little fighting clash thing. Like, how many times am I really finna do that? Like, let's be real, bro. It's like, I think about it like this too. Like, Storm 1. Okay, right. I don't know if y'all played Naruto Ninja Storm 1, but if that game was online, bro, because that game had like, I guess, jutsu struggles. If that game was online, bro, how many times am I really pulling off a Rasengan against a Chidori? Like, how many, like, really though, how many times are you pulling that off during the game? Unless you see them do it, and then let's say they're super far away and you like, man, fuck it, I just want to do the beam struggle anyways, and then you shoot yours, then cool. More times than not, bro, you might just dodge that bitch. You just fly away from it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't always go for the struggle. But I guess because we're getting it back after not having it for so long, people are like, man, I guess people are actually going to try to go for these beam struggles a lot more. But, bro, if I have the option of dashing behind you or teleporting behind you and just punching you and I can end the match, I'm finna do that, bro. I'm not finna go sit here and go through no whole beam struggle with you just to like do something cool and end the match in the cool. No, I don't care, bro. Because guess what? You could win that beam struggle and I could lose. Like, I'm not worried about it, bro. Like I said, the critiques for it are very valid. But then let's also remember, guys, how often are we even going to get into a beam struggle? Unless y'all really trying for it. But I could tell you, me, myself, personally, I am not going to be trying to do that shit, bro. If I have the option to teleport behind somebody or fly behind them with ease and then just hit them, I'm doing that. I'm taking the W over trying to do the cool shit. 100%. Like, that's just my personal opinion on it. I feel like a lot of people are gonna eventually feel the same way or already do feel the same way. They just, like I said, these are just critiques that's happening because we're seeing a near perfect game be made right now, and people are just kind of, they're like, man, if I were to dislike something about this game, it would be that. And before I wrap up this video, because I've been talking for a minute, there is one more thing about it I did want to bring up. I also saw some people complaining that, like, it doesn't make sense that a character like Radix would be able to clash with Beerus or something. But it's like, come on, bro. Like, really? Like, it's a game, bro. Like, I feel like, yeah, these characters overpower these characters by a ton. But I feel like if you make it too canon to how, like, things actually are, then that's when it doesn't really get all that fun, bro. Like, there has to be, like, some kind of, like limit to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Like, you should be able to hop on this game and pick anybody you want and have fun, bro. You shouldn't have to worry about, like, oh, if that person got, like, a character like Beerus and you got, like, Krillin, you can't beat them. And I know Tenkaichi games are normally like that. I will say that now before y'all try to cook me. I know Tenkaichi games are normally like that, but I'll say what I really liked about the Rage and Blast series, and yes, this is not a Rage and Blast 3, y'all, but one thing I really did like about the Rage and Blast series, that was something you didn't have to worry about. You didn't have to worry about somebody picking a stupid strong character like, I don't know, like Super Saiyan Gogeta. Or like Vegito, Super Vegito. Like, if you want to run the Krillin versus Super Vegito, you could. It's just the only thing that other person would probably have over you is health. Other than that, everything else was free game. Damage was free game. Like, being able to hit somebody or just stun characters, that was free game. But I know in like the actual Tenkaichi games, like 1, 2, and 3, if you were like playing as Kid Gohan and you were to fight Broly, you wouldn't be able to stagger him or really hurt him for real because it's Broly. You know, I never truly liked that personally. And as more gameplay come out, I'm kind of hoping they take that feature out, because then that's gonna force people to play as like the strongest characters, and you won't really ever see no diversity in characters if they overly do it with that aspect. Like, do I think that feature is cool? Absolutely, because it's the closest thing we got to the series for real. Like, yeah, you don't expect a weak ass character to beat a very strong one. You never do in Dragon Ball. So they definitely tried to implement that into their games, which was cool. But now that like we got like online battles and, you know, it's a lot more competition now than it was before, because, you know, online wasn't really a thing back then when these games came out. I feel like now you kind of just gotta switch it up. You know, you gotta do it differently now, because people gonna want to play online, and people might want to play as Kid Gohan or play as Krillin, and then, you know, fight like stronger characters like Jiren and Beerus and bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? People might want to do that matchup, and it's gonna suck if people can't. Like, the only person that really can't hit people ever in a Dragon Ball game is Hercule. I feel like it should always be like that and stay like that, since he's genuinely like, he's not a very strong human. Like, he's not no Krillin, he's not a Videl, you know. So I'm okay with it being like that for Hercule or even Yajirobe. But other characters, I definitely don't think it should be like that. And like, if they're actually a Z fighter for real, and y'all know what I mean by that, like a Krillin or Videl, then I definitely think they should be able to stagger and stun characters like Broly, Jiren, and them. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely think that. Y'all might get on me for that take, but like I said, man, it's a video game. Everybody want to have fun and play who they want to play. Now, me personally, I don't got this problem to worry about. I'm speaking for others right now. Hey, if y'all follow my channel, y'all know me. I am a Gohan fan. I will be a Gohan main. I will be playing Gohan and Goku Black. I'll probably just rotate between the two. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. So the characters I know I'm gonna play, I know they gonna be able to hit and stagger every other character, so I'm not worried. It's just, I definitely want to speak for the other people that like playing those other, like, those weaker characters, I guess you would say. I definitely want to speak for them, because I do think it's unfair in a way. If I got like Beast Gohan and somebody got Krillin and they can't hit me or affect me at all, like, that's bogus, bro. Because I can imagine doing a video for that and then I'm just whooping dude, like, whole video just because he can't stagger me. Like, that's so bogus. But I know this video took a minute, man. I was yapping on y'all, but I definitely had a lot to say for this topic and for the beam struggles and all of that, and just for the characters in general. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video off right here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's a nice lengthy video, man. I hope y'all really do enjoy it. Let me know what y'all think down below, for real, man. I really want to know y'all thoughts and what y'all think on the beam struggles and certain characters having advantages over others. Like I said prior in the video, I know this is like a normal thing for Tenkaichi games, but like what I also said was Rage and Blast was supposed to be the new Tenkaichi at that time. At the time it came out, they got rid of that feature of, you know, stronger characters really overpowering like weaker characters. I just really hope we don't got to deal with that as heavy in this game, you know. I hope it's not as bad. But like, comment, subscribe. I am out this bitch, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Know that the numbers go like 1, 2, greed. Thank you for being a GreedHD, nigga.